Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and a new edition of our online interview series. Today, we want to talk with Empress Royalty, and the CEO, Alexandra Budaya-Sharon, is here with us. Hey, good morning to Canada. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, lovely to see you. Fantastic. Finally, again, a woman that's so fantastic. I love that. That is great. Women in mining. We need more of this. Definitely. Yeah. Empress Royalty. The royalty business we like a lot, as our viewers know. And we see the royalty business as something, which is, let's say, a much lower risk than conventional mining. You can disseminate your investments better. You can do a broader portfolio. So this is exactly what Empress is doing. You are building the company with your team together. And I would say the last 2-3 months, they were quite active. Jesus Christ. So first of all, let's talk about your debt facility and let's say your financing power you significantly strengthened.
Yeah, no, the end of December, we signed a credit facility, an accordion feature for $15 million US from Nabari. So this gives us the ability to draw down $4.5 million. We've deployed $2.5 million into Sierra Antipite, which is the mine in Peru, increasing the production from 750 tons to 1,000 tons per day. And then we also deployed $1 million into the investment we had made in Mozambique for the Manica project, which is currently in construction and expected to be in production in the second half of this year. So, we were able to use this facility to put into active investments that are getting us great returns.
Fantastic. For example, when you say from 700 tons to 1,000 tons a day at Sierra Antipite, I mean, that sounds like not that much, but what does it mean for your revenue stream? It must be quite significant, right?
Yeah, so we structured that deal with Sierra Sun, who's the owner of the project in Peru. So we've been increasing our investment that over the fall. So now we're at our full investment size, which is 4.5% of their gold, up to 11,000 ounces, and it drops down to a 1% life of mine stream. And with the capital we provided them, again, they're increasing their production. So it's going to bring in roughly $2.5 million to Empress a year when they're fully ramped up. And it's a great company doing amazing things on the ground.
And we should say almost at no cost, right? Because you get the ounces delivered.
Yeah, exactly. So we're getting gold credits at 20% spot price. So it's a fantastic investment for us.
Absolutely. It sounds like a good game plan. But also you did at Manica, which is the project in Mozambique down there with, what is it called here, Mutapa Mining and Processing. You did also a new agreement which raises the royalty from 2.25% to 3.375%. Yeah. So what does it mean for you? How much more do you have to invest, and what does it mean life of mine, let's say, or the foreseeable life of mine for your company?
Yeah, so we had originally invested $2 million into this project. We increased the investment by another $1 million. So again, as you mentioned, that increases our royalty on the project. They're currently in construction right now and should be in production sort of April, May, June next year. Or sorry, this year. I keep thinking it's next year. We're already in 2022. Yes. This one brings in about $1.5 million cash flow for Empress. So it increased our revenue projections by about $500,000 a year. So we're very excited to be supporting this project and getting this one as a near-term catalyst coming in soon for revenue for Empress.
Super. So near-term catalysts in addition, what can we expect from you guys?
So we've obviously got the Sierra Antipite increasing their capacity, and that'll bring in more revenue. We're receiving revenue from that right now. We have also the Altale project, Talueto, that we invested in, and that's a silver stream. And that one is in construction right now. We're doing some test work in February, and we should start seeing revenue coming in from that in sort of March or April this year. So that combined with Manica, we're projecting over $5 million of revenue in 2022 for Empress. Over the next 3 years, we're getting up to about $28 million US in revenue. So significant growth for Empress, and those near-term catalysts are the tipping point the next couple of months as that starts to come in for Empress.
Super. If you would, say a little of a prognosis, I know hypothetically, but where would you see by year end, let's say, the revenues for this year, and what could you imagine growth for next year?
Yeah, so we're projecting about $5 million US in revenue in 2022. That's based upon conservative price forecasting and a 5% discount. You look at the base case, obviously it increases much more. The upside case increases much more than that. And then cumulatively over the next 3 years, just these 3 investments alone are going to bring about $28 million in revenue. So some significant forecasting or significant revenue we're forecasting over the next 2 years. And that's if we did nothing else. But, we let deals and find great investments. That's what we're focused on right now, is building our pipeline and advancing several opportunities right now.
So how large is your firepower then today? Meaning, let's say, undrawn credit facilities, cash, other possibilities to finance. Meaning, can you say, hey, oh, wow, there's the next project. I need 20 million. Can you do it like this?
So we have, with debt, we've got about $10 million that we can deploy from our credit facility with Nabari, and that can go very quickly straight into an investment. So we've got that, which is fantastic. We also have the revenue starting to come in from Empress later this year, which is great. And we filed a shelf prospectus for up to $200 million last year this time. So we do have the ability to act quickly when the right opportunity presents itself, but also, I think the market needs to catch up to where we are, and hopefully with these near-term catalysts, that's a tipping point. If you just look at what we've done to date, we took it from 13 exploration assets. We've layered in, 3 development stage. 2 of those will be in construction shortly, and 1 producing asset, for a total of 17 investments. We've invested $19.5 million US so far, and the net asset value is over $45 million US on those. So some pretty strong numbers support what we're doing. The portfolio IRR is over 35% from the investments we've made to date. So, once these things start to roll out even further, look at our market cap, we're around $20 million US. It just doesn't support what the actual hard numbers are. But we'll, hopefully the market will catch up, and these tipping point moments coming very shortly for us.
Yeah, it will come soon. I mean, for gold, really, the markets are going into our direction, I would call it, with inflation and all this silly money printing. Sooner or later, it has to start, definitely. That is for sure. Where do you see a reasonable gross margin, or let's say a margin before taxes in your business? But I'm giving you an example. Cisco operates with approximately 93-94% margin, for example. Yeah, where do you see you can build that up within the next, let's say, 2-3 years?
We go through a very stringent process, and we look at investment opportunities. Right now, just talking about the pipeline, which kind of feeds into that question, we're looking at 3 opportunities at the moment. We'll see if those check all our boxes. We go through a very rigorous due diligence process. We get very close to management groups that we invest in to help them not only fund their immediate needs, but also build that relationship for future opportunities. So we're looking at 3 opportunities at the moment in great detail, and we'll see what those terms look like. We're looking for strong IRRs, obviously, because we've got a debt facility. We want to make sure that matches up and that we're still getting a great return for our shareholders from that. But there's a lot of flexibility in that. Ideally, I'd love to be doing, 1, 2, 3 investments a year. These investments take time because we're not just buying a third-party royalty. We are on the ground, we're on site, we're mitigating all the risks, we're really truly understanding everything that's happening with the company, and again, their growth plans and their plans for the project. And that's a lot of the mining engineering work and geology work that we dig into as well. So we really mitigate the risk for our investments, and as the right opportunities come out, with obviously run by the right groups, we'll expand the portfolio.
Fantastic. How important is for you, let's say, the initial life of mine when you start to invest, or when you say, hey, but this project is really interesting for us? And what is, let's say, the minimum life of mine you are seeking for an investment? I mean, obviously, as long as possible, because the royalty goes forever, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, we do a combination of royalties and streams. So obviously in a royalty, or and sometimes we have a stream that drops down to a life of mine stream. So that's obviously important. We always want to make sure, though, that we get our investment back out and we meet the returns and the criteria that we did. So that's why we're structuring these deals in certain ways, that we get our initial capital out, we get a great upside, a great return on it. Some are 35%, some are 40, some are 70, some are, around the 25 mark. But we get our initial return out, and then there's definitely some upside on the table for us to use to grow and to build the company as well.
Okay, super. Where do you see the biggest challenge for your company this year?
I think the biggest challenge is getting market awareness. For us, we've had a concept, we've delivered on the strategy, we're continuing to build on that strategy, and hopefully the share price will start to reflect that, especially with these near-term catalysts coming on board, because we're a very strong mining finance team. We're applying the fundamental principles, which you can apply to any level or any investment size in the industry. We're applying it to the smaller size. So hopefully that the market will start to catch up to what we're doing and where we're growing this company out.
Yeah, well, seems really reasonable. So let's hope that we can help you a little bit with that awareness, because I think you guys are doing a great job and you have a great company here together. Super. Thank you very much. It was a great insight, and I have a good feeling that we talk quite soon. Keep us please posted.
Yes.
And because your business model is fantastic, and I think you're doing the right things. And yeah, we love undervalued companies, because buy cheap is still the best thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lots of stuff to come very soon. So yes, watch us.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That's how we want to do it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Alexandra Woodyer-Sharon, the CEO of Empress Royalty, and you heard it. Things are going extremely well. The company was pretty active the last 3-4 months. Of course, they had an active 2021, but also now with the financing power, Nebari on board, and several other opportunities. We think this is a fantastic opportunity to really look at the company, because with royalty business, you really can sleep extremely well, because it's not that volatile. You do not have the mining risk, and you get a nice diversification over the planet in good mining jurisdictions and good mining projects. So check out Empress Royalty. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Switzerland.
Thank you.